For many of us, winter is the one season we just assume indoors, driving images of biting winds and unplowed roads out of our minds with toddies by the fire. Welcome to Crossroads. I'm Enzo DiMaio. Stephen Bushy, journalist, cartographer, and outdoorsman, has lived in Vermont all his life. He's an avid recreational enthusiast, especially where cross-country skiing is concerned. For his master's thesis at Ottawa's Carleton University, he decided to integrate his love of the outdoors with the exploration of a new avenue of recreation, the creation of a route that could revolutionize cross-country ski touring, a route known as the Catamount Trail.
I started skiing when I was perhaps 5 years old, 21 years ago. Like most Vermonters, my parents put me on skis when I was a little kid, and I started shuffling around.
Steve Bushy of Burlington did much more than just shuffle around. On February 29, 1984, Bushy, accompanied by friends Paul Jarris and Ben Rose, set out on a 200-country trek that would lead them through picturesque villages, major ski touring centers, and silent forests of snow.
The idea of skiing from end to end occurred to me after I had crossed the United States by bicycle. After a year of research, I came up with a route that went from basically the town of Wilmington, Vermont, north through the major ski areas, close to Killington, through Blueberry Hill, through Waitsfield, Stowe, Craftsbury, and ended up near Jay Peak at the border of Canada. The Catamount Trail is essentially a second long trail, but for skiers. A party led by a writer named Lance Tapley skied the length of the state in 1969, did it in 14 days compared to our group's 21 days. And after Lance Tapley finished his ski tour, he advocated, as I advocate, the creation of an end-to-end ski trail similar to the Long Trail.
On the eve of the journey, Steve and company arrive at Wilmington's White House, the first of a long series of host inns. Here they conduct the first of many promotional meetings for the future development of the Catamount Trail. Nona Estrin, a key spokesperson and supporting member of the group, offers insights on the project to the many innkeepers and reporters in attendance.
As people become more fit, they're more interested in something, an adventure that lasts a couple of days. It isn't over in an afternoon. It's something they can go out and really immerse themselves in. And with a trail that is good for intermediate, doesn't really demand a lot of the skier, anybody really who has the desire to do it could do it.
We found there's tremendous enthusiasm for this trail, for the idea, and we're trying to channel that enthusiasm and attention away from Three Guys Go Skiing and a nonprofit organization which will be parallel in structure and purpose to the Green Mountain Club. It will take care of the Catamount Trail, that is, develop it, maintain it, and administer it. The Green Mountain Club takes care of the Long Trail. This trail is not going to happen if we just go skiing and everybody notices and then forgets about it. We need volunteer support. We need people along the...
Well, the Catamount Trail advocates a modification or a continuation of expanding trail systems from end to end. And I think that linking will really satisfy the type of skiers that are being generated by the expansion of a lot of American ski programs. Skiers today are better than they were 20 years ago, and they're looking for a type of trail where they can ski 20 miles in one day or even more. Well, we have found that developing a trail is much harder than actually skiing the route, as our group did in March. Perhaps the greatest problem we have is developing an organization that can handle the overall development of the Catamount Trail. We see a lot of hopeful signs. The fact that there are 100 members and we are growing and we are generating income is quite a good sign.
All signs point to an exciting and successful journey, and the night seems to fly. February 29, 1984. Time to rise and shine and go skiing.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. But if we get the wind at our back, we'll be all set.
I'll think of the bright side. Can't be worse than breakfast.
Thanks. A lot of the problems were logistical. Logistical problems such as finding the route in places where we'd never skied before. The long trail has a guidebook, and there's no guidebook to the Catamount Trail, which means that there was a certain amount of trail interpretation that was going on all the time. Our party was pretty handy with compass and topographic maps.
Just one last map check, and the group sets out. Destination, Canada.
My partners and I weren't as well conditioned as I would have liked us to have been when we started out. The route is basically a route for intermediate skiers with many easy stretches and a few difficult stretches. And while an average skier could probably ski much of the route, we found the day in and day out skiing was tiring after a number of days. After 5 days, the continuous activity began to wear upon us. Doing the PR and publicity was really time-consuming. Sometimes it would take up to 2 hours a day just talking to the press or doing occasional videotapes along the route. The only way we could deal with that and keep ourselves going every day was to go to bed early at night. The Catamount is a Vermont mountain lion, and I believe it's originally an English term for mountain lion, but it's been used a lot in northern New England, northern New York, and we thought that it would be a good symbol for the trail. We would be able to use the cat's paw prints, nail them up on trees, and skiers would be able to follow that and recognize the trail that they're following as a Catamount Trail.
March 7th, Goshen, Vermont, the official midpoint of the Catamount Trail. Tony Clark, proprietor of Blueberry Hill Inn and Nordic Touring Center, anxiously awaits the arrival of the Catamount Trail team. When the skiers are within transmitting range, Tony radios in to ascertain their exact location and progress.
Okay, Steve, the scenario from this end is that I'm going to leave the radio and come out and meet you out on the trail, probably somewhere in the vicinity of the Hogback Mountain, and certainly we'll have quite a cheer for you as we approach you from this end. All right. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, we have problems. I'm glad you did this.
All right. That's great.
How you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey. Nice. Tony Clark. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, welcome, boy.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you guys. Nice to hit your trail. Boy.
That mountaintop sends the best from Don Cochran. It didn't take us too long to get here. I guess
That's about 15 miles today, huh?
I guess so. I think we were on the trail for about 5.5, 6 hours. We encountered some heavy
God, you're looking
bushwhacking.
well. We got some good color.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's super.
Had a lot of sun and snow. We've encountered great skiing conditions. I can't say enough about them.
Not too much bushwhacking today?
Just a little bit, maybe 1.5 miles of it up on some mountain there.
Now, how's the snow been, generally speaking?
It's been really dry,
Yeah.
powdery. We've encountered great skiing conditions.
Good cover.
Really good.
And that last snowstorm came just in time, didn't it?
Just in time, yeah. We've had a little bit of snow every night and a lot of sun during the day.
And I think something that saved you also has been the cold temperatures.
Yep.
Yeah.
we sure have.
Good.
Yeah.
Last week I thought you'd be running this trail. Well, what's been the hardest part of your journey, would you think, so far?
Probably organizing the whole trip. The skiing.
The skiing, the hardest part so far.
What would you guys say?
Mount Tabor Road.
Yeah.
Going from North Landgrove, the Village Inn, there's a big wilderness stretch, right? And we went up to Mount Tabor Road once we found it, which is a long story, and then followed the main snowmobile corridors.
The rendezvous is a short one. Dusk is rapidly approaching, and they have over a mile to cover before reaching the comfort of the inn.
Well, everyone would like to ski the Catamount Trail tomorrow. The idea has a certain romance. It really grabs a lot of people's imagination. People would like to ski it tomorrow or next week, but I hate to disappoint anyone when I say that to build a trail of this type, I'm expecting it to take 15 years. I really cannot realistically see the total creation of the overall route before the year 2000.
Right, guys. Nice to have you at Blueberry Hill. This is the kitchen. We're going to sit outside in the greenhouse, have a little hot toddies. Might just go right around the table here. Must be pretty nice to get out of that cold, huh? Yeah, it is. It's getting chilly out there. And look at that sunset. Quick look at the sunset over there. Beautiful.
But there's little time for sunset gazing. It's almost time for a phone interview with a local radio station.
Between 1,500 and 2,000 feet. Blueberry Hill right now is 1,600 feet, and that might almost be the average elevation of our entire route that we're traveling at. We're traveling at a high elevation to really maintain the nice snow conditions that we've been getting. I guess down in the Champlain Valley, the snow is a little bit scant. I'm not quite sure what it's like right now since I haven't been in the valley for quite a while. My relationship with my two friends, Paul Jarris and Ben Rose, wasn't affected at all. Sometimes during trips, people live in close quarters, and we certainly did live in close quarters 24 hours a day. And one night in southern Vermont, near Grout Pond, we did stay in a wilderness cabin with a number of friends. We probably had a group of 8 in there, and that was quite a nice break for the whole group. We weren't under a lot of pressure. We hung our clothes up to dry next to the fireplace. I think that's one of the whole beauties of the Catamount Trail, that there are optional lodgings along the entire route. You can stay at a country inn, you can stay in a wilderness cabin, you can go winter camping, or if you want to do a real gourmet tour, you can stay in country inns like Blueberry Hill or the Hermitage or Trapp Family. The route itself offers a lot for the dining connoisseur or the camping enthusiast. We've generated an excellent cross-country ski map of the Stowe area, process of generating other maps showing the linkages between country inns. Right now I'm working on a cross-country ski map showing the linkages between Blueberry Hill, where we are now, and the ski center to the north, Breadlow Ski Center, and the one to the south, Mountaintop Ski Center. The association feels that while there are many skiable routes along the Catamount Trail, the public really needs access to information, guidebook type information or cartographic information to direct the recreational skier from one ski center to the other. I'm hoping maybe next year to do another ski along a long section of the Catamount Trail. Perhaps this year a bicycle expedition over the Catamount Trail. The Catamount Trail not only is a ski trail, but it can be used as a multi-purpose trail. So a partner of mine and I would like to demonstrate that the Catamount Trail is not only viable as a ski trail, but viable as an all-around recreation route.
March 18th, 1984. A sudden overnight ice storm prevents TV coverage of the border crossing, so Paul Jarris documents the final miles with his...
Well, the feeling of finishing the trip was sort of lost in the minor argument that Ben and I were having at the moment. And we were arguing while the customs man was trying to figure out where we'd come from or why we were dressed up in these shiny, weird-looking suits. It didn't really sink in that we had done the trip until we were driving back to Burlington and we were drinking beer and eating potato chips in Paul's van that we had skied the whole length of the state. We actually skied during part of the day on the roads themselves because of an inch of ice, and we found that skiing that day on the roads was the easiest skiing around. Well, I've lived in Vermont all my life, and I was almost stunned at the beauty of the state. When I skied through it in March, I saw a lot of places I'd never seen before, and it was sort of overwhelming to see so many different beautiful villages, magnificent mountains, and I don't know, I was really pleased with what a nice state I lived in.